I think we're all here on earth for a reason, for a purpose. I'll be more than happy if I see you fulfilling your purpose in life and living your life to the fullest, operating in the principles that can make a game changer for where you're supposed to be and where you're supposed to get to. That will be fulfilling for me. I'm on a journey myself of discovery. I'm on a journey of transformation. And, it is that journey that I'm saying, let's travel together. Let's walk together. I'm discovering, you are discovering. Let's compare notes, and see where it will get us to. Because when all is said and done, the life that we have should be complete, should be fulfilled. So right now, I want to talk about time. 24 hours. Everyone has 24 hours. Everyone. But the question is, how are you spending your 24 hours? Are you using them and squeezing every juice out of them to make sure your life becomes better somewhere into the future? How are you managing your time? Remember, 24 hours is a long time. And sometimes we try to look at time in days, in weeks, and sometimes we drag our feet thinking that we have more time, and to get around to do that thing that is important that we are not getting to do. But before you know it, you have lost a lot of it. So listen to this. Each day you are gifted a blank canvas of 24 hours and the freedom to paint it any way you wish. Now, think about how you're currently using this canvas. Are you filling it with colors that reflect your deepest passions, your true priorities? I challenge you today, as your fellow traveler on this journey of life, to take a step back and reevaluate. Are you letting the noise of the world dictate your brushstrokes? Or you are consciously choosing each color, brushstroke based on what truly matters to you? It's time to take control, to prioritize, to remember that your time is your most valuable asset. This isn't just about managing time. It's about managing life, your life, with intention and purpose. How beautiful is that? Each day, you're like a painter. You have 24 hours. Every new day that comes, the sunrise, you have 24 hours. And you are that painter. You are a Picasso. What colors, what brushstrokes? Does your 24 hours reflect your priorities? Does it reflect your true passions? Or time is just wasting away? Something to really think about. But for us to really understand time and its importance, I think we need to understand priorities. Everyone needs to have priorities in place. What are your priorities for your family? Priorities for your business? Everything needs priorities. 1 to 10 in that order. What are the most important priorities in your life? Are those the ones that you're spending your time on? Remember, everyone has 24 hours. Everyone. In the 365 days a year, you have your 24 hours. And when the year is complete, you would have spent 8,760 hours of 2024. But the question is, are you using those hours to produce something majestic, or your time is just wasting away? Because it doesn't matter who you are, your color, your race, old or young, poor or rich, we all have 24 hours. And we have to have our priorities straight. Sometimes we spend away time thinking that we have more time, only to discover, oh, I've lost it. I'll never recover. So it's important to guide yourself with, this is something that I do in business. It's called the 80-20 rule. 20% of your effort is going to produce 80% of your results. So there are those key priorities in your entire life zone that you just need to look at and really make sure, you spend your 24 hours on the things that matter. Your work, obviously, a good night's sleep, spending time with your family, good health, exercising. So there are those critical things that you must look at and make sure you begin to spend time and focus yourself on those things that will make a great difference. So as we continue to talk about priorities, there's something that I've learned a long time ago. It's called the matrix of time management. So there are 4 quadrants. So you have what is called urgent and important. So this is the quadrant of necessity. Things that are urgent in your life that must be done right now, and they're very important. If you miss it, it make a mess of you. So they call it the quadrant of necessity. Then you have the second quadrant called the quadrant of leadership. Not urgent, but it's very important. This is where we have to spend our time. Critical things that they are very important to continuously do for maybe your personal development, to improve your family life, to improve your work life. Those things that are important. Are you spending your time on those? Are you developing yourself so that the time comes when those things becomes important and urgent? You're able to withstand the pressures of life. Maybe you are spending time with your family. You are doing whatever you can, going on holidays, bonding. Then a major challenge hits your family. You are able to withstand that pressure because you are established. You have established a great foundation. But if you are not investing, you may find yourself wanting. So I think this is the most important place to spend most of your time. Go on the internet, Google it, learn more about it, understand how it works. Then we have the quadrant of urgent, but not important. They call it the quadrant of deception. And this is a place where you can delegate some of the activities. You can have a burnout doing things that are not going to produce great results in your life. So why not just delegate it? Give someone the opportunity to do it on your behalf. And you focus on the urgent and important, and not urgent but very important. Then you have your last quadrant, which is called the quadrant of waste. Not important, not urgent. It's easy to do things that don't challenge you. It's easy to spend your hours online. It's easy to spend hours on watching Netflix, on Facebook, on Twitter, on these social platforms, or just talking to people pointlessly without going anywhere, without producing any major results that are critical for your life. A lot of us find ourselves wasting away time, wasting away our 24 hours. Before we know it, we've lost a couple of years. And, well, I think we all know the story. But as I share this, this is something that I've found to be very important for me in order to say, how do I want to spend my 24 hours? How do I want to spend my 24 hours? How can I break it down that it makes sense? Remember, a split second can change your life. It can either be damaging or you'll be like, in an accident scenario can almost happen in a split second. And when you get away with it, you feel, wow, I could have gone here. I was told a story recently about one of my cousins. So they were driving, I think, to Chegutu or Kadoma. I can't remember. So, one of my cousins saw an opportunity to overtake. And there he was. Gonyet number 1, he's overtaken. Gonyet number 2 is overtaken. Now he's about to overtake a bus. In the car, another vehicle is approaching in front of him. It's like a drama when the story is being told, because he made a very loud cry and said, "Mama!" You cry for your mother in the midst of a chaos. That's a split second. Anything can happen. The good thing, we thank God that they found their way out of it, and we still have them today. But it's just a split second. We can make a decision in a split second which can taint our lives or make our lives better. That's a split second for you. Now, how about 1,440 minutes, which is your 24 hours? What can you do with that? I think they can transform your life if we learn to use them. Forget about the weeks, about the months. Let's focus on the 24 hours. If we know how to use 24 hours, a month will be one of the most productive period you can ever operate in. That's how beautiful it is. So let's master 24 hours. A lot can happen in 24 hours. For those who have watched the movie 24, the name says it all. It's about an agent called Jack Bauer. Every hour something was happening. Every single hour there was an activity. There was something going on. The adrenaline pumping. He's saving someone. He's trying to change destiny. And every hour, 1 hour pass, second hour pass. How are you using your 24 hours? I'm not saying every hour you should be at work just like him, because you'd go for 24 hours at work, pumping in some caffeine. So it has its repercussions. But we must be in a position to understand that life is compound. And if we understand that life is compound, it means how we use our time, we'll value it. We'll understand the importance of using time when we understand how to use our 24 hours. Most of us, we start at the bottom with nothing. In most cases, in the negative, with no money. Here in Africa, our parents can afford to take us to school. At some point, maybe up to O level, and we shake hands. If you're lucky, they can push you forward into a course of some sort. And they say, son, now it's your turn. Go out there and make something out of yourself. Most of us, we start with nothing. There are many stories of people who lived in their cars, who went broke, lost everything, started over. But they understood the concept that 24 hours can make a difference. If I can be consistent in using my time, in managing every minute, every second, it's going to be a game changer. If you really want, you can even break it down to, like I've said, 1,440 minutes. You can break it down into minutes and begin to define yourself. How can I use that time? How can it be utilized? So I just took a bit of time just to break it down, to say, when we're starting from nowhere with nothing, you just acquired your degree. Maybe you start off with an internship. What are you going to do? Are you going to be at your best? Or are you just going to say, this is just an internship? So, I'll just wing it. Because I think everyone should always be at their best, putting their best effort to make sure the time that is before them is utilized to set the right foundation for where they're supposed to go. Time. That's your ally. That's your friend. If you can allow yourself to befriend time, then you accomplish greatness. But if you waste away time, you will miss out on opportunities that you're supposed to experience. So there we go. So you have 8 hours to go to work. You have 8 hours to sleep, good night's sleep, and you wake up energetic to accomplish or learn or do other things. So that's 16 hours already. Let's just say you eat, you travel, that miscellaneous time, you have another 3 hours. Then it comes to 19 hours. Every day that is already allocated to something that you're going to be doing consistently. And you are left with 5 hours to do as you wish. That's your time. Do you choose to waste away all the 5 hours? Social media, watching TV, it's easy. Doing nothing of value. Then you complain and blame everyone else except you. Let's forget about money. The greatest and the best thing anyone can ever have is time. Time is all you need to make the greatest difference in your life. It may be hard to get to where you want to get to, but as long as you operate in time according to the principles of time, then life can be better. Life can improve. Because remember, not everything that demands your attention is worth your time, right? There are things that will demand your attention. Friends will say, let's go out to the bar. It will demand your attention. But the question is, are you supposed to be there? Is it worth your time? Is that a priority for you? Or it's a posteriority? It's just something that you can either do or not do. So let's look at time and value the hours, the minutes that we have throughout the year to make a difference in our lives. So assuming that of the 5 hours, you take 3.5 hours to maybe do some exercise, which will be good for you. And at the same time, you go on your social platform, do whatever you want to do. Boom. 3.5 hours gone. Which means you are left now with 1.5 hours. That's your gold right there. Can you allocate 1.5 hours every single day? We are working with the worst case scenario. There are times when maybe you need to sleep for 6 hours. Or there are times at work, you complete your work way earlier than the 8 hours. And maybe you are left with 2 or 3 hours on your hands. But this is just the worst case scenario, to save 1 hour, 30 minutes every single day that you can use to do your personal work, your personal development, work on yourself, work on your personal business. Whilst others are sleeping, you are grinding. You grind for a year and you'd have spent 548 hours developing yourself, working on that side business, making progress in one way or the other to become better in your craft, to become a better person. Whatever it is, as long as it moves you forward, it develops you, great. You would have spent 548 hours. That's a lot of hours. You do the math. The knowledge you've acquired is a game changer. You do that for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Imagine what you would have become by just committing 1.5 hours every single day of your life to make a difference for you. So sometimes we say we don't have time. I'm too busy. I don't have time. What exactly are you doing saying you don't have time? Is what you're working on in quadrant 1 or quadrant 2 in necessity or leadership? Or you are now in deception, doing things that you're not even supposed to do? Or better yet, in waste, where time is just like gone. So I was talking to my cousin who's in the UK just recently, and he said the other time we went out with the boys for some drinks, and it was about 10ish. They'd left another pub and went to another one. So you know what they've done in pubs? It's very deceiving. Is everything is dark. Everything is dark. The windows, you're only seeing lights. So you think maybe it's still evening. So he just decided early morning. Let me go outside and check on the car. Imagine his surprise. It's already 6 a.m. So they've spent the entire evening wasting away. There are many things that can deceive us, as if you're spending your time well, and we do these things consistently, yet they're taking away our value. We're losing momentum every day. Because remember, you are getting older every single day. There's no replay with life. Whatever I've lost today, I'll never get it back. And that's a fact. So let's use our 24 hours. Let's use them well. Let's start here. Let's not worry about a month. Let's not worry about a week. Let's worry about the 24 hours that we have tomorrow or the day after. What are you going to do with that time so that it makes a difference in your life? And always remember, life is about compound. It's mathematics. You start with addition. Before you know it, it starts multiplying. We all start from somewhere. Let's make time our best friend, because we only have one life to live. Start today. Make 24 hours count and watch as your life transforms into a masterpiece of your own conscious making. Remember that canvas. You have a fresh canvas tomorrow, maybe after listening to this. Use it. Begin to write down the things that matters most and do those things every single day. So, making the most of our 24 hours, for us to really make the most of it, we need to be intentional and we need to be present in whatever we're doing. That's what time requires, to just be present in what you're doing. That's what life requires from you. You need to have priorities. Do what matters most. The rest, forget about them. No matter how exciting, no matter how deceptive they may look, don't eat that cake. It's not good for your health. Focus on what's good for you. A thought drops in your head and this is not the right thought. My time, I'm supposed to be doing ABCD. Go for that which matters to you. Enjoy the little victories. It's not every day you're going to use your time effectively. Some days are going to be good. But the key word, the majority of your days should be you using your time very well. Because that will make the greatest difference in your life. Celebrate those victories. And when you fall short, get back up and try again. And lastly, keep trying. Don't stop trying, using your time until you master. Because everyone, when we start doing something, remember, these are new habits. We will not succeed. But when we keep trying, pushing ourselves to change and become better, before you know it, your life is improved. So let's go on. Let's utilize that 24 hours. So how are you using your 24 hours every single day? For me, I wake up, I do my work 8 hours. I give myself a nice sleep, and I've targeted every day to sleep at 9 p.m. It's hard sometimes, but I'm trying my best. I read a verse in the evening, read a book or something, pray, wake up in the morning, go for my cycling, or I do my exercise at home, then my day starts. It's hard to follow through on a priority list, but I try my best. That's all we have to do. Try and give it our best. And I know before we know it, we are masters at doing it. So let's go. Let's change this. These principles will help us get to our finish line. There are things that you are planning on achieving. There are goals that you have scribbled down. We can only achieve it if we operate in the principles. If we understand and master that time can flit away in a second, or can be one of the greatest things that you can operate in. So let's go. Let's work at it.